The 2026 Formula One season is turning into a political battlefield. On the track, Mercedes is untouchable. Off the track, they are under attack from all sides. First, it was the controversy over their engine's compression ratio. Now, they are being accused of something even more serious: sandbagging. The other teams, led by a furious Ferrari, believe that Mercedes is deliberately hiding its true performance. And now, new data is emerging that could prove them right. This is a story of secrets, lies, and a high-stakes game of cat and mouse that could decide the fate of the World Championship. Sandbagging is a term that is used in motorsport to describe a team that is not showing its full potential. They are deliberately holding back, making themselves look slower than they really are. There are a few reasons why a team might do this. Sometimes they do it to lull their rivals into a false sense of security. They want them to think that they are not a threat, so that they can surprise them in qualifying or the race. But in this case, Mercedes is being accused of sandbagging for a much more strategic reason. They are trying to manipulate the rules to their own advantage. The new regulations for 2026 include a system called the Additional Development and Upgrade Opportunities, or ADUO. This system is designed to prevent one team from dominating the sport. It says that if any engine manufacturer is more than 2% behind the fastest engine, they will be given the chance to upgrade their own engine during the season. If they are more than 4% behind, they get 2 upgrades. This is a way of helping the slower teams to catch up and to keep the competition close. This is where the sandbagging comes in. Ferrari and the other teams believe that Mercedes is deliberately not showing its full performance in order to keep them below the 2% threshold. So Mercedes is managing its performance, keeping the gap to the other teams just under 2%, so that they do not trigger the ADUO system. It is a very clever strategy, but it is also a very risky one. The other teams are furious. It is a situation that is creating a lot of anger and frustration in the paddock, and it is a situation that is putting the FIA, the governing body of Formula One, in a very difficult position. The FIA is now under pressure to act. They have to decide whether Mercedes is breaking the rules, and if so, what they are going to do about it. The regulations do have a clause that prevents sandbagging. It says that the FIA can revoke a team's upgrade slots at its discretion. But it is very difficult to prove that a team is deliberately not trying. How do you know if a driver is really pushing to the limit, or if they are just cruising around at 90%? It is a very subjective thing, and it is very difficult to police. This is where the new data comes in. For the 2026 season, all the cars have been fitted with advanced torque sensors on the rear axle. These sensors provide real-time, high-fidelity data on how much power the engine is producing. This data is sent directly to the FIA, and it is impossible to fake. It is the smoking gun that could expose Mercedes' sandbagging. If the data shows that the Mercedes engine is capable of producing a lot more power than they are showing on the track, then it will be very difficult for them to deny that they are holding back. The FIA is now analysing this data, and they are trying to figure out what is going on. They are comparing the data from the Mercedes Works team with the data from their customer teams, McLaren, Alpine, and Williams. They are looking for any discrepancies, any signs that the Works team is not using the full potential of the engine. It is a huge investigation, and it is one that could have massive consequences for the championship. If Mercedes is found guilty of sandbagging, they could be hit with a severe penalty. They could be fined, they could be docked points, or they could even be excluded from the championship. It would be a huge blow to the team, and it would be a huge scandal for the sport. But even if they are not found guilty, the damage may have already been done. The trust between the teams has been broken, and the spirit of fair competition has been called into question. This is a story that is far from over. The FIA is still investigating, and the other teams are still pushing for action. The next few weeks will be crucial. The FIA will have to make a decision, and that decision will have a huge impact on the rest of the season. Will they come down hard on Mercedes and send a clear message that sandbagging will not be tolerated? Or will they let them off with a warning and risk a full-blown war between the teams? It is a decision that will shape the future of Formula One, and it is a decision that everyone is waiting for with bated breath. The situation is made even more complicated by the fact that Mercedes has been so open about their engine advantage. Toto Wolff, the team principal of Mercedes, has been very vocal in his defense of his team. He has said that they have not broken any rules and that they have simply done a better job than everyone else. He has even gone so far as to say that the other teams would be embarrassed if they knew the real advantage that Mercedes has. This kind of talk has only added fuel to the fire, and it has made the other teams even more determined to see Mercedes punished. Ferrari, in particular, has been very outspoken in their criticism of Mercedes. They have been the most vocal of all the teams, and they have been leading the charge to have Mercedes investigated. This is not surprising, given that they are Mercedes' biggest rivals. But it is also a sign of how seriously they are taking this issue. They believe that the integrity of the sport is at stake, and they are not willing to stand by and watch Mercedes make a mockery of the rules. The next few weeks will be a crucial period for Formula One. The FIA has a big decision to make, and that decision will have a huge impact on the future of the sport. If they get it wrong, they could risk a full-blown war between the teams, and they could do irreparable damage to the credibility of the championship. But if they get it right, they could send a clear message that fair play and sportsmanship are still the most important values in Formula One. It is a decision that will be watched by the entire world, and it is a decision that will define the legacy of the 2026 season. For Mercedes, the dilemma is acute. If they continue to dominate, they risk triggering the ADUO upgrades for their rivals, effectively handing them a lifeline. If they try to manage their pace and keep the gap under 2%, they risk being exposed by the FIA's torque sensors and facing accusations of unsportsmanlike conduct. It is a tightrope walk with no easy answers. The team that has been the benchmark of excellence for so long now finds itself in a political minefield where every move is scrutinized and every decision has far-reaching consequences. The fans, meanwhile, are left to wonder what to believe. Is Mercedes simply a cut above the rest, a team that has once again mastered a new set of regulations with unparalleled genius? Or are they a team that is bending the rules to their breaking point, a team that is willing to do whatever it takes to win, even if it means sacrificing the spirit of the sport? The answer to that question will likely depend on who you ask. But one thing is for sure, the 2026 Formula One season is shaping up to be one of the most controversial and talked about seasons in recent memory. And it is a season that will be remembered not just for the racing on the track, but also for the political battles that are being fought off it. The drama surrounding Mercedes and their engine has cast a long shadow over the start of the 2026 season. It has become the dominant storyline, a saga of intrigue and suspicion that has captured the attention of the entire Formula One world. And while the on-track action has been processional at the front, the off-track manoeuvring has been anything but. It is a high-stakes game of poker, with each team trying to outwit and outplay the others. And as the season unfolds, it is a game that is only going to get more intense. The battle for the 2026 World Championship is not just a battle of speed and skill, it is a battle of wits, a battle of politics, and a battle for the very soul of the sport.